The clouds are on the increase as we go through our Friday. We started out with some nice sun, and we still have a little bit providing us a slightly bright look on our downtown sky cam. But as the day continues on, the clouds will just continue to thicken and thicken as our rain chances also start to climb and climb. So we are going to be finding that this look on our sky cam going to be changing a little bit. So if you're going to go golfing this afternoon, you're going to want to have a little bit of an earlier afternoon tee time, because though we've had some drier conditions early on, I anticipate this evening you're going to have maybe a little more than just those clouds, even a few raindrops. So depending on what time you go, 3, 4, even towards 5 o'clock, you could have a stray shower, but the soaking rain going to be after dinner. So you can hopefully hit the links if you have that afternoon, and temperature is going to be climbing as we go through the day. Now, Doppler radar, you are going to be looking at, well, a little more action here. So we have our cold front that's setting up and even kind of connecting with a weak system that we have into the plains. What we will be seeing as far as our rain chances is just this little bit of rain here. This is going to miss out on us. So though we have a little more of an active pattern, you're actually going to find a little more of a quiet forecast here for Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. This is all because we have this low pressure. This is what's bringing us the weather, and it's actually just going to stay north of town, but it does have a trailing cold front, and that is going to bring us the rainfall. So you'll see here through the morning that models have really kind of had that broken, just like what we saw, that broken look to it on radar. But as it does push a little bit closer, you're going to find, of course, the clouds first, and then we do see that it's a little more kind of bubbling up as we go, but it really forms kind of a more solid line as it goes just through and east of Northwest Ohio. And then that cold front, you can see by Saturday morning, it's actually out of town for us. We'll still have a few lingering clouds as they try to hold on, but even some of us are going to have dry and sunny skies to wake up to on Saturday morning. So if you're in Southeast Michigan or just there along the state line or further west, you will see some sun to start out the weekend. We'll still keep a few clouds in the forecast. Now, even though there is a little bit of yellow, orange, and red on here, we're not anticipating severe weather. This line just won't have it together by the time it rolls in, and with it not really being together, the rain chances as far as totals in the rain gauge are going to be quite spotty for us. Some of us could really use the rain, maybe cut the dust a little bit, cut the pollen a little bit, but at best we'll be looking at about a quarter to a half of an inch as far as the rain gauge is concerned by Saturday morning when you dump that out. You'll even see that it's fairly light throughout Southeast Michigan and along the state line, just because that line isn't really a solid line at that point. So it's going to be very spotty kind of along it to see where we pick up that rainfall. Of course, keep an eye to it with the WTOL 11 weather app. You'll have radar. You'll be able to zoom in, zoom out, and keep an eye on that line as it pushes through. So if you are golfing or going to try to grill tonight, use the app. It's going to be a helpful tool for you. You'll also have the hourly forecast conditions, and when we anticipate seeing some of that rainfall, you can see just after dinner, we have some of those rainy icons in there. So just be mindful that Friday, mainly just today, is our only rain chance in the forecast. Now, looking at our daily almanac, we had lows this morning that were still on the refreshing side, we'll say. Typically, we should be into the lower 50s. We were seeing lower 40s once again this morning, but we're actually going to exceed that high as we get close to 80 degrees. So we've gone from below average to above average. So you can see it's still kind of a spring-like forecast as we make the adjustment. No record highs, no record lows, no new records as far as today's forecast is concerned. And we aren't quite there yet. At the end of May, we will see our 9 o'clock or even later sunsets. And we're getting close. 8:52 is what we have for tonight. So we're getting there. Of course, we are getting also to the later days of May. Outside, a lot of our temperatures are on the warmer side. Here at home, you can kind of see we have a little bit of that warmth swinging on in, but you can also spot where that cold front is coming from. You're going to see Chicago at 65 and yet 51 in Minneapolis. So that cold front you can kind of see switching over from the green to, well, the yellow as we get closer to us. So we will have a little bit of heat out ahead of it, and then we will have some cooler air that'll be stepping in for the weekend. High temperature trend, you're going to find that it's a little bit cooler on Saturday, 67 for that forecasted high. So that's a big drop from this afternoon, going from 80s to the 60s, but then we're right back at it on Sunday when we're getting close to 80 degrees. So we'll have a couple of days into the 70s, but really kind of this up and down, that's what we've been working with. It kind of settles out for us. As we get into the middle of next week, you're going to see we kind of turn the corner, and here we go. Summer is coming, knocking on the door. We have 80s that'll hold into the forecast, and even looking at 87 for next weekend. Reminder, the end of this forecast, Saturday, Sunday, That's Memorial Day weekend. So if you're making plans, just be mindful right now we're seeing a little bit of a warmer trend for Memorial Day. I know a lot of you say that's the unofficial start to summer, and it looks like Mother Nature agrees with you. So we'll be keeping an eye on that forecast in the long term. But before we get to next weekend, let's not rush through this weekend. We do have that 67, a little bit cooler on Saturday. So if you're a fan of the cooler weather, Saturday is going to be your pick day. If you like the warmer weather, Sunday is going to be your pick day as we're looking at 79 degrees. We'll have more sun on Sunday rather than Saturday. There'll be a few more clouds, but overall, both days are dry. Both days you can get out and about on the town, and both days you can have a lot of fun. So make sure you have some plans to enjoy not only the nice weather, but a lot of the fun that we have on the weekends here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. Now we just have this one lone shower and even a few general thunderstorm chances for today. 80 degrees. Like I said, that little bit of a drop on Saturday. It's cooler, but that's the beginning of the dry weather that's here for the weekend and all of next week. So when we introduce those 80s, there's not a lot of rain with it. So if you've noticed things have dried up a little bit by you, you better hope that we pick up some of that rain, because there's not a mention of rain even as we look forward to Memorial Day weekend. Of course, that's quite a ways out. We'll keep an eye to it as you start to make some plans. Maybe you're going to go camping. Maybe you're going to go to some friends, have a barbecue. No matter what your plans have, keep checking the WTOL 11 weather app. Our team updates that with the latest forecast data. And of course, we'll make sure that you stay ahead on those plans that you're making. Also, if you're gardening and you need some rainfall, plan on using the watering can once we get into next week. Have that hose ready to go. Of course, we'll always keep you updated, whether it's your weekend plans, holiday plans, or gardening plans, anything in between with the WTOL 11 weather app.